Hello everyone and welcome back. Last time we spoke about commitment and consistency and just how powerful a psychological effect it is. Today, as promised, I wanted to discuss an example of how humans, we can be manipulated sometimes by certain industries into increasing their profits. In this particular example, I'm going to talk about the retail industry, more specifically the toy industry, and it's an example that Robert Cialdini gave in his tremendous book called Influence, which I highly recommend everybody to read. So Robert, in this book, he spoke about one day when he went to a toy store just after Christmas, and he met a friend there. The same friend, in fact, that he met exactly the same time almost the year before. And on this occasion, he said to him, well, look, isn't that a coincidence? Now, this particular person used to actually work in the toy industry, and he said to him, actually, no, it's not a coincidence at all. So, of course, he was intrigued and questioned him further. And so, why do you say that? He said, well, let me tell you exactly what happens. The toy industry suffers from a post-Christmas lull in toy sales. So they had to figure out how do they increase their sales so that they don't suffer from this drop. So what they decided to do is use psychology. So what the toy companies do is they pay for advertisements to be put on the television just before Christmas time, talking about the newest, the latest and the best toy that you can possibly get your hands on. This generates interest in the children that are watching, the target audience. The child will then go to the father or the mother or the parents and will say, hey dad, hey mum, I want this robot. And probably most of the parents will say, okay, we'll get it for you for Christmas. So Christmas shopping time comes, they go to get the toy in the toy store and they find it's not in stock. There's only limited stock available, they can't get hold of it. So they try their best, they're desperate to get this toy, they can't get it anywhere. So what do you have to do? You have to get a different toy, you have to get something else for your child, because you can't just not give them something at Christmas. So you buy another toy. Christmas comes, give the toy, they're happy, but they didn't get the toy that they wanted. Now this is actually done on purpose. The toy stores actually purposely do not bring in stock of the toys that they're advertising before Christmas. That seems crazy, right? Stay a little bit longer and things will become clear. Christmas comes and goes, and then what happens is the toy companies will pay for advertisements of the same amazing, tremendous toy that they were advertising before Christmas. They'll hit it really hard, same target audience, the children. The children will then go to their parents and say, hey, you know the toy that you said you were going to get me for Christmas, but you didn't get it for me? Well, I want it, I still want it, you promised me. And of course the parents will say, but we got you toys, you got me toys, but you promised to get me that toy. And of course, when the parents go to the toy stores after Christmas, they'll find a plethora of the toy. They're fully stocked. Everything you can imagine is there. And of course, this is where Robert found himself with his friend. They had succumbed to this commitment which they made to their children, and the desire to remain consistent upon that commitment drove them to the toy store to buy the toy that they promised their children to get in the first place, thereby increasing the sales of the toy companies by buying another toy as well before Christmas. So this is just one example of how retailers and businesses can use advertising at the right time to the right target audience to then obtain commitment from the people like us with the purchasing power, who will then, once we've made the commitment, especially publicly, to our children, and nobody wants their children to think that they're a liar or they're inconsistent. So you can start to see the power of these psychological constructs. Anyway, in the next video, I'm planning to give another story on this, which will be even more fascinating and kind of unbelievable, but it actually happened. So I look forward to seeing you on that one, inshallah. As always, hope this was beneficial. Let me know what you think.